Sip Lakshmi, Sip Raju, Sip Khoj, Sip Sudeep, Sip Tina, Sip Chidanand, Sip Samatma, Sip Vanita, Sip Shaer, Sip uh, Anam, Supra Jid, Supraja Reddy Anam, Aman, Sip Ru Tanu, Sip Eru, Sip Sagai, Sip Premchandji, Sip Sanjay, Sip Yogini, Sip Meenakshi. Rarely we have part two, and today is one of those rare days. The Enlightened Ego, part two. And for me, it's a very interesting thing to have a part two because that means it's such an important subject that we need to have a second discussion, and people are interested, and people are confused, and people want. Chalo, kahani shuru. Let us start. Where are we caught? How can there be an enlightened ego? How can you give me a cup of hot cold coffee? Give me a cup of hot cold coffee. Sir, how can I give you hot cold coffee, sir? Enlightened ego. Hmm? Give me one cup of ठंडा गरम गरम chai. Sir, ठंडा गरम गरम chai कहाँ से मिलेगा? So I have nothing to say. You have to ask me. Who wants to ask me the question on what is the enlightened ego? Where does it come from? Where does it go? Is there an enlightened ego? Is it a paradox? Is it a dichotomy? Is it an illusion? Is it a confusion? Let's get to a conclusion. Krishna. Unmute Krishna.
Shivoham.
Sure.
Sir, यही मेरे मन में आया था what you said in the beginning, hot cold coffee ही मेरे मन में आया थे. That exactly was the confusion. And yesterday again you said when there is no apple, how can you say a sweet apple? Exactly यही था मेरा confusion, and all the lessons you have given us. See, everything मेरा everything is based on the lessons you gave. Even today when I was hearing a new bhajan of yours, I'm hearing it for the first time. कि एक क्या मैं ए नहीं ए मैं नहीं सच में तो सच
मैं हूँ वही.
हाँ, तो सभी में you are like saying to transcend the ego, and suddenly ego को enlighten करना, so there is a little bit, I'm unable to understand.
Who has understood? Who will try to explain? Anybody wants to explain? Anybody will try to explain? Huh? Anjali, let's see. So Krishna, wait, don't go. Be on the call. So Anjali, Girish, the enlightened ego is the way to realize the truth.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Guruji, the ego is equal to the mind, which is equal to the thoughts. So
no,
as
no,
long
no,
as...
no. Ego is not equal to the mind.
Okay.
Mind.
But the sense of I, that thought of I.
Yeah. So ego, just for since you asked, mind is a thought factory. It appears to be, but it is not. It is a bundle of thoughts. That is not today's discussion. Ego is an identity. Ego, there's no ego. There is no ego. Then from the time you are born, from the time you know your name, you say, I am Anjali. Who's Anjali?
Yeah.
Who's Anjali?
I
am Anjali.
Yeah, that thought of I.
Yeah, that is the identity. That is the identity. When you are able to give up the identity, you become enlightened.
Yeah, but the thought that thought of I still remain. If someone pinches you, you'll still feel that pinch.
Who's feeling the pinch?
The body is feeling the pinch, but
who?
The person.
Anjali, I.
Yeah.
I am feeling the pinch.
Yeah.
But I know I am not I.
Yeah, but you still know that you still can feel all the five senses of the body.
Correct. That is the enlightened ego.
Yeah.
The enlightened ego can see. The enlightened ego has eyes. The enlightened ego has nose. And if I'm saying something wrong, correct me. The enlightened ego can see, can smell, can hear, can touch. But
Yeah.
the enlightened ego knows
Hmm.
I am not I am not this.
Yes.
The enlightened ego knows, realizes, not only knows, realizes नेति नेति मैं ये नहीं हूँ. Huh?
Yeah.
Neti neti tattvamasi. Who's saying neti neti tattvamasi?
The ego,
No,
the Atma who's in
no,
the body, mind,
no,
ego.
no. Who's saying?
Mm,
The
I
ego
think I think
cannot. The ego cannot say neti neti tattvamasi.
okay.
The enlightened ego can say.
Okay. So, like you said, that Ramkrishna Paramhans, when he had throat cancer,
Yeah.
but I mean, like he could feel the pain of the cancer, he could feel the pain of the body, but
Ah,
he at the same time he said, "I am not this body."
correct. Who's
So that
having
was
coffee
like,
now? Who's having coffee? See, who's having coffee?
um, I mean, you, that is the body that you are in.
I am having coffee,
Yeah,
but I know I am not I.
yeah,
When I know I am not I, then I am the enlightened ego having coffee.
yeah.
It's not that I'm not having coffee. I'm having coffee.
Hmm.
But the one who's having coffee is not me.
Yeah,
It's who's having coffee?
you are.
No, my body is.
Okay.
But at this point of time, when I'm saying my body, then where am I? Am I in your
You're
body?
in, no, you're in your body.
When I'm in my body and I'm in my body and I'm having coffee, but I'm saying I am not I, then I'm enlightened.
Okay.
So back to Krishna, then Girish. So Krishna, what is Krishna will again, because what happens is sometimes the record player gets caught in one aja, 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 aja. That has to go aja, meri barbad moha. It doesn't go. The record player gets caught. Krishna, now where are we now? And where's everybody else, man? Hey, Rekha Parvani. So many people who wanted to have this clarification. Where's everybody? Don't only put on Rekha because only on Krishna. Many of you wanted the doubt to be clarified. Krishna.
Yeah. So, first tell me, these are some understandings which has gone deep inside me from your calls. Because
Yeah.
you always, what you call, the right knowledge, contemplate and realize a few things which I've really underlined and बहुत अंदर गया है. Now I have to like erase करना पड़ रहा है with this
No,
thought
no.
of
क्या?
understanding.
Tell me what is क्या erase करना है बोलो?
For example, you have told us we are because that is one thing I do meditate daily, that we are that spark of energy that
Correct.
appears that 9 months before the arrival day. So
Correct.
I is not the ego or the enlightened ego. I am the divine spark,
Correct.
soul, UL. So
Correct.
now you are saying, and the ignorance, ego was ignorance. Ego is darkness, ego is ignorance, and now you are enlightening us, means the light is on, so the ego has disappeared, so there is no question of an enlightened ego. It is
Correct.
just like a cold coffee.
Correct. Then I also should disappear from the scene.
No, no, sir, you are
That
the divine. Nice,
I
sir.
should.
No, now because enlightenment is such a
Krishna,
powerful.
Krishna, Krishna. When that soul appears 9 months before,
Yeah.
it appears in which airspace? Russian airspace or Ukrainian airspace or which airspace it appears in?
नहीं किसी भी एयर स्पेस में
No,
आओ
no, no.
उस टाइम
Wait. The soul appears in which hawa? In Bombay ka hawa, Trivandrum
नित्या
ka hawa, Delhi ka hawa,
It's all
where
illusory.
does this,
Even if it is there is a body, you have taught us very clearly it is an illusory ego. There is
wait,
ego.
go slow. That soul appears in a mind and ego that is fertilized into the first zygote. Have I taught you this or not?
That I'm ignorant, no? When the minute I am born, I'm ignorant. With
You're
the
not,
mind and
you're not yet ignorant. You're just not conscious. That consciousness in you has not developed. The mind and ego has come alive in the first cell of consciousness, which is the zygote. At this point of time, although there is soulful consciousness, you have not yet developed into a full being. Therefore, you will develop when you're born. You don't know. Do you remember the day you were born? None of us remember the day we are born because we are in the garb. And then when we come out of the garb, then slowly we can, when we open our eyes, we come to realize, okay, this is me. This is my mother.
yeah,
Then that ego becomes I, this is my ball, this is my doll. You don't damn it touch mine. If
right.
you touch my car, I will break your bones. This is my car. Don't touch my car.
Yes, sir.
That's the ego. Then
Huh.
the ego slowly becomes enlightened. What the ego becomes enlightened? Arey, I am not this yaar.
Yeah,
I am not this, I am that.
yeah, yes.
Then you are enlightened.
I am enlightened and I am the divine soul, but not the enlightened ego.
My dear, who is the divine soul?
The particle of Sit.
Krishna or Shankar Mahadevan? Who realizes I am the divine soul?
जो वो परमात्मा का अंश है एक
Who
बाकी सब
realizes? No. I'm asking a question. When I'm talking to you, Krishna, realizes you're the divine soul or Shankar Mahadevan sitting in Bollywood?
realize. I'm trying to realize now. आप तो
Yeah,
realize
that's,
के ना.
hold on. We are trying, that's the discussion. So if you realize now, I am the divine soul, who? You or Raji?
The soul with the soul.
Who is that soul? Raji.
No, there was a cloud of ignorance. That cloud of ignorance was washed away, and I became the.
You're mute, unmute. Now, that
Sorry.
cloud of ignorance who had,
Sorry, I didn't hear. Sorry.
that
sorry.
cloud, you were saying the
I
cloud
can't
of
hear.
ignorance,
Huh?
the cloud of ignorance, you said. Who had cloud of ignorance? Can't hear. Unmute. Can you hear? Okay. She will come back. So interesting discussion on the enlightened ego, and we will continue. And all of you who are doubtful, I think yesterday even Bliku or who had a doubt, please clarify, because if you cannot get the clarity on the enlightened ego, then there is a problem. And we have a big problem if you do not get there. So please get to that point. Let us move forward. We have got Girish.
I understood ego as the identity of a Jivatma.
Correct.
When Jivatma gets enlightened, it is called as it is enlightened ego.
Correct. That's it. So you have any confusion?
No, whether it is correct or not, what I understood, I wanted clarification from your side.
Let me explain to you now. Who are you?
Pardon me, sir.
Who are you? Who are you?
My name is Girish.
Very good. Why you are saying my name is Girish? Before you came in this Zoom call, if somebody asked you, who are you? What would you say?
I am Girish.
Correct. What is the difference between I am Girish and my name is Girish? What's the difference?
When I say I am Girish, I say that I am this body, mind, and ego.
And when you say my name is Girish, what does it mean?
I am not this body, mind, and ego.
So when you say I am Girish, you are ego. When
Yes.
you say my name is Girish, you are enlightened ego.
Yes.
Why you are so cautious in telling? Why you are so cautious and telling my name? You are so cautious. What is there is going to trick me now? What is going to trick me and where is going to catch me? You are so cautious. Good. Because you are enlightened. You are enlightened ego. Whether you are still, see, look at this. That's why we said, no. The recently we had a discussion. I have enlightenment, but am I enlightened? Now, Girish, when that light of enlightenment shines and shines and shines and shines, suppose today I'm sitting in Finland. In Finland, at 7 o'clock, it will become dark. But when I come back here in June, at 12 o'clock night also, it will not become dark. Fully enlightened. The land of the midnight sun, which means when the light is shining and shining and shining and shining, fully I'm enlightened. That's why it's a little tricky. Sometimes we say, no, that is realization, not enlightenment. It's very tricky, na? Sometimes you say, so sir, am I enlightened or am I not enlightened? How much enlightened am I? No, it's a very tricky question. According to me, you are enlightened. But then you lose. Then when the darkness comes, you lose that enlightenment. If the darkness comes and you don't lose the enlightenment, then you're ever enlightened. You're always shining, always in Satchit Anand. That is a state, but it's a whole journey. But what you're saying is very correct. I am not Girish. My name is Girish. But Girish, the same problem. You become angry. You get used. I hate.
am Girish. Yes.
The moment you become angry, you become Girish. The moment you become jealous, I gave story of jealousy. Some people cut the passport. I told you recently, cutting the passport in pieces. Who is becoming jealous? Will Atma, will Ruh. The Ruh will become jealous. The soul. Will the soul become jealous? Soul is incapable of becoming jealous. Now you know it. You know it so well. But when the ego is enlightened ego, then you say, I am not capable of becoming jealous. Girish, you want to say something more?
Sir, one of the main difference between ego and enlightened ego is always active intellect or Vivek.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The moment we go to mind state, the moment you go to mind state, the shaitan comes on alive. The shaitan comes on, mind will come, mind will become me. So enlightened ego is that state where you are samadhi, chaturyam, satchidanand. Now, Girish, if I take what is this color you see on this what are the colors you see on this?
Black
And
white.
You see black and white. So it's like that. You see black and white. When from black it becomes, you keep on adding white to the black, it becomes gray, 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 gray. Then slowly it becomes white, 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 and white. That means from black it has become white. When it becomes from black to white, in between there are so many shades of gray. Dark gray, medium gray, light gray, then it becomes white. How the ego slowly becomes enlightened. If you are in a yes.
When there is no black left, automatically white appears.
Correct. 100% correct. When there is no ego left,
enlightened ego only
correct. But Krishna is telling when there is no ego, when the ego is enlightened, there is no ego. Can there be no ego?
Sir, from a different angle, I intend to touch the point.
Yeah, touch any angle.
Whether it is appropriate or not, you give the decision, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, it is said that Maya has got two powers, concealing the truth and projecting the myth.
Correct.
For the ego, truth is out of sight.
Correct.
Projection is everything.
Correct.
But for the enlightened ego says, even though movie is playing, I can experience the screen. Maya
Absolutely.
can no more conceal the truth from me.
Absolutely. Maya will still project the movie.
Yes.
But the enlightened ego knows that even behind the movie is the screen.
Yes.
There is no Amitabh Bachchan. There is no Shah Rukh Khan.
So even when experiencing the pain of the body, still due to the usage of ever active Vivek, he is not out of touch of his enlightenment.
Even though there is pain of the body, you didn't complete correctly. Even though there is pain of the body,
still he will not say, I am experiencing, I have the pain. Still he will say, my body is experiencing the pain.
And therefore,
I am not suffering.
That is the point to complete. The body has got the pain, but I am not suffering. Enlightened ego. अब्बा नहीं, ओ माँ इतना दर्द हो रहा है, मेरी माँ मर जाऊंगा, मैं मर जाऊंगा. What is it?
It is ego.
Ego.
Sir, so the essential ingredient is ever active Vivek only.
No, there's so many ingredients. Girish, it's not only ever active Vivek. It is ever active Vivek. Therefore, still the mind, kill the mind. It is consciousness. It is awareness. It is soulfulness.
Live the 8 stages.
So therefore, see, but the difficult today, why we are having this session again, people are confused of this point. How can ego be enlightened when ego is not there? Now, what you said, very beautiful. How can I become aware of the screen when the movie is being projected? Why I cannot become aware? Krishna, why I cannot become aware that of the screen when the movie is being projected? I can become aware of the screen when the movie is being projected because I can be aware. The projection is on the screen, not Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan is being projected. They are not here. Enlightened ego becomes awakened. Enlightened ego is no black, only white. Enlightened ego is Jivan Mukta, free from suffering. Enlightened ego has no fear, no worry, no stress, no anxiety, no anger, no revenge, no hate, no jealousy, no pride. Enlightened ego, क्या pride क्या है माँ, मैं क्या हूँ, कुछ भी नहीं. The enlightened ego is humble. The ego is proud. The enlightened ego is selfless. The ego is selfish. Okay, good. Thank you, Girish. Good clarity. Anything more, come back. Meenakshi. Today we still have 20 minutes. Meenakshi.
Hello.
Bolo.
Hello, sir. Roham. Sir, I also want to re-clarify me, what I am having in my mind is, like, until and unless I am alive, there is identity. Okay.
Yes.
When I am not realized, then there is only identity. When I have realized that I am not I, then that is enlightened and identity.
Correct.
So I think that is the difference. The realization comes then because I am to there now. Till I die, I am to there. So I think identity and enlightened identity, I can say. So ego or enlightened
ego is an identity, and enlightened ego is the enlightened identity.
Yes.
Which comes to know that my identity is not my identity. Then my identity is not my identity. मैं ये नहीं, ये मैं नहीं, सच में तो मैं हूँ वही. कौन है वही? मैं वो ही. I am that. Neti. I am not this, not this. Tattvamasi. That thou art. I am that.
I think this confusion is coming because of I only, because I will be there until and unless I am alive. So you can call it normal I or enlightened I.
Correct. There are two I's. One is the arrogant I, the humble I, the revengeful I, the forgiving I, the hating I, the loving I,
Yes.
the
So am I correct,
ignorant
na,
I.
sir? I-
Yeah, correct. The ignorant I, the enlightened I. Harshal. No, keep on
Thank you, sir.
clarifying. Be clear. Be absolutely clear, everybody. Harshal.
Shivam Guruji,
Shivoham, sir.
please make me correct if I am wrong. According to me, enlightened ego means I am not this, I am that. That's
Correct.
why enlightenment ego is necessary to realization.
Who is that? Who is not this?
Body,
Who is not this?
I am not body, I am a soul.
I am not this. Who's
Ha,
not this?
I,
And who is that?
the soul.
No soul. I am the soul. Don't say,
I am the
don't
soul.
say
Yes,
soul. Don't say soul is the soul. Don't say soul is the soul. I am the soul.
yes.
You cannot say soul is the soul. You are trying to say soul is the soul. Soul is not the, you cannot say soul is the soul. Soul does not need to say soul is the soul. Soul cannot say soul is the soul because soul doesn't have the consciousness to say soul is the soul. Soul is the consciousness in which the ego is enlightened.
Yes, yes.
Will, let me see a new perspective. Will, what is your perspective?
I think it's very subtle, Guruji, very subtle point you're making. But it's as if you're saying there is enlightenment, but no one enlightened.
No, as long as we are not enlightened, the ego remains.
Exactly.
The moment we are enlightened, the ego remains.
Yes, sir.
Remember what the Buddha said? I think the Buddha said, right? What happens before enlightenment? I think it's the Buddha, he said. The Buddha said before enlightenment, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you eat food, you go to the farm, you garden the plants. And they
Yes.
asked what happened after enlightenment. He said, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you eat fruits, you go to the garden, and you put. This is not the Buddha's words?
I think it's a Zen saying, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. But in reality, the difference is when you are an ego, I brush my teeth, I go to the farm, I am watering the plants. But the enlightened ego realizes I am doing all this, but I am not the one who is doing.
Yes. So the enlightened ego is the very pure ego, free, completely free of attachment, completely free of identity, completely free of defilement, pure. Like just
Absolutely.
purity. Not
Absolutely.
something, but purity itself.
Yeah,
But purity is able to speak and able to perceive, but it's not really attached. There's no really identification with the word I. There's no identity. You don't identify even with the word I.
Yes, correct. You are right. But who will not identify? It is will. It is same will, but will has been enlightened. Will has been awakened. So will realizes, although I am still will, I am not will. I appear to be will, and it seems that will is eating. Of course, will is eating, but
Exactly.
I am not will who is eating. I am the consciousness through which will is eating.
So Atman in Ravi is able to say, "I am air," but that doesn't mean that he thinks he is air.
No, he doesn't think he's there. He realizes he is nothing.
Yes, sir.
But he is nothing in the embodiment of Ravi. And because he realizes he is not Ravi, he doesn't call himself Ravi.
Yes,
because
sir.
he is not Ravi, then who is he? He is
Yes.
the Atma. If he is the Atma or the soul, then he becomes Sir. SIR means soul in Ravi.
Ah.
Okay, Google. I gave you another Google. But you're right, Will, absolutely right. And therefore, the person, like you said, Will, when you stop all identification, then you know, Will, what happens? Then when you stop all identification with your body, then that Advaita, then you become identified as one with the universe.
Yes,
You
sir.
become identified as the divine. You become identified as the sunshine. You become identified as love.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Rekha Parvani. I am Sip. Rumataji. Sudham.
Shivoham here.
Shivoham.
I'm born as me and be a
Yes.
me, Rekha Parvani. Okay,
Yes.
that's the ego.
Yes.
So ego only has to get enlightened. It will go on a talash. Who goes on a talash? Not the soul. Obviously, the ego will go on talash.
How the
Correct?
ego will go? How the ego will go? By plane or by train, or how the ego will go?
No, with me, Rekha Parvani, the ego.
Ego cannot go without Rekha Parvani.
Yes.
Ego will go with your body and the mind and the intellect and the soul.
Yes.
The whole Jivatma, the full
Jivatma
component
will go.
Rekha Parvani will
Yes.
go. No, you
Yes.
said ego
So
will
then,
go on Talash. You cannot say ego will go on Talash. Cannot say like that.
not ego, Rekha Parvani will go.
Correct.
BME. So now
Correct.
when I go on a talash, I realize that I am not the body, mind, and ego. So
Correct.
that, because in life the soul doesn't have to get enlightened. The
Correct.
ME to get enlightened, the ego has to get enlightened. So
Not
that is why
ego cannot get enlightened. Rekha Parvani has to get enlightened.
yes, Rekha Parvani has to get enlightened. So that is why then when I get enlightened, Rekha Parvani gets enlightened, the I becomes enlightened ego.
Correct.
So this will be with me till I die.
If you realize you are not Rekha Parvani.
Yes. So till my last breath, I will be called an enlightened ego. Correct?
Nobody, you will not be
If I
called.
am
You will
enlightened,
experience. You
I
will
will
not be
become.
called. You will
I'll become.
you will be your ego will live as an enlightened ego.
Ego, yes. So then only if I am an enlightened ego till my last breath, then at death I'll get united with Sip, right?
Correct.
And then there is no question of any me. Then
Correct.
there is no question.
Because you are not you now.
Yeah. I understood it.
See, it all depends upon where our consciousness is. If our consciousness is, suppose, when I was not AiR, all the time I was thinking, where will I get good dosa?
Yes.
I want to eat good dosa. Where will I get good dosa? I was all the time trying to have sense gratification. I want to see beautiful. I want to touch something beautiful. I want to taste something beautiful. I want to smell something beautiful. I want to hear something beautiful. Because I identified myself as the body which had senses.
Now these senses are...
Now the senses are tamed. The monkey has become a monk. The monkey has become a monk. It doesn't mean I don't eat dosa.
Yes, I know. It's not your priority.
If you're fond of mirchi, your focus goes from Hari Mirch to Hari.
Yes.
Your focus goes from Hari Mirch. Otherwise, when you are ego, I want Hari Mirch. Hari Mirch, Hari Mirch, Hari Mirch, Hari Mirch. Somebody's come with me to Finland. They're searching in the supermarket for Hari Mirch today. Somebody is searching for Hari Mirch. They are searching for Hari Mirch. I am searching for Hari. Okay, because Hari Mirch will give a tingling to the tongue.
That's it.
And Hari will give a tingling to the soul. Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody told me yesterday that I was sometimes eating non-vegetarian. Somebody told me I was eating non-vegetarian. But I was not eating non-vegetarian every day, but sometimes I was eating non-vegetarian. Sometimes, because I was pleasing somebody else. So I was eating non-vegetarian. I said, what happened? Then I got a soulful awakening. I should not eat. I should not eat. I said, very good. Then what happened? I'm not going to eat from now on. Very good. Enlightened. You think it's easy? If the one who likes chicken to give up chicken, For a Bengali to give up fish, for a Bengali to give up fish, oh, it's a big swish. So I'm telling you, this is enlightenment. Enlightenment is the writing. Then the ego says, no, no, I won't do it. Who won't do it? I won't do it. Because I am enlightened. I have awakened. I will not do it. Okay, ahem sip, Rumataji.
Shivoham Guruji and all sip on the call. I love you all. Guruji, like we keep on switching between mind and consciousness, can we also switch between ego and enlightened ego?
Absolutely. You can keep on switching between black and white and black and white and black and white. But the point is, when you become enlightened, see, let me tell you a simple thing, give you an example. People on this call, they are constantly switching from ego to enlightened ego. But you go to your house and see all those people. What are they?
Ego. Egoistic.
Pure ego. Pure ego. If all of you go out of the Zoom call, you see only egos. But when you come to this call, you see EE. You see all enlightened egos.
Right.
But you're right. And Ahimsa, the moment that light starts to shine completely, then there is no switching. This is the grace of God, the grace of SIP, the guidance of a guru. When you will put your foot down and say no. I'm not telling you the story, one small story. I was so crazy about meat. I was so crazy about meat. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, I must have sausages and salami. Lunch, I must have chicken. Night, I must have mud fish. Then, when I got my awakening, I said Mondays and Wednesdays. Then I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I would be eating meat on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and of course, Saturday and Sunday. Then one day I said, Bhaad mein jao, salat. Stop it. Cut it. Then what happened, Amship?
Stopped eating.
But at that time, I was not enlightened. I was only enlightened about compassion for lives. That is one kind of enlightenment. See, enlightenment can be, I am enlightened, I am not the body. I am enlightened, but we don't call this enlightenment. We call these realizations. In this Zoom call, we call it. But every realization is one enlightenment.
Okay. Got it.
Thank you, Rumataji.
Thank you.
Pranam Guruji, Shivoham.
Boli Mataji.
Guruji, this means that when truth shines, then at that time it is enlightened ego.
Rumataji, confuse mat ho. As long as you think I am Kiran Kathuria, whenever you say I am, जब भी आप अपने बैंक में जाते हैं और बैंक मैनेजर को बोलते हो, manager, where is my money? Bank manager tells which how much you have. I don't have any money. You don't have any money in the bank. आप उसको बोलते हैं, have you lost your brain, Mr. Manager? I have lot of money. I am Kiran Kathuria. You're the new manager. You please call old manager. What are you talking? How the hell you can tell me I have no money in your bank? Call the manager. Give me number of your general manager. I will talk to your general manager now. How can you tell there is no money in my bank? क्या हो गया?
Ego.
क्या हो गया? Ego आ गया ना? लेकिन suppose आप enlightened ego है. वो आदमी बोलता है, you don't have any money in the bank. आप बोलते हैं, बेटे, मेरे बेटे, मेरा पैसा तुम्हारे बैंक में है, तुम थोड़ा बरोबर चेक करो, ठीक है? वो बोलते हैं, मैडम आपके अकाउंट में बैंक में आपका नाम में कोई किरण कतूरिया हमारा अकाउंट में नहीं है. आप बोलते हैं, आप हंसते हैं, आप आराम से हंसते हैं, ए बेटे तुम अपना पुराना आदमी को बुला ना, मैं बात करती हूँ, मेरे बेटे तुम अभी मेरे लिए चाय मंगवाओ, मुझे चाय पीना है, फिर मैं बैठी हूँ तुम्हारा. फर्क है, फर्क नहीं है?
बहुत फर्क है, पर गुरुजी जब ट्रुथ है तभी एनलाइटेंड ईगो है ना.
हाँ, लेकिन ट्रुथ तो है ना, हमें प्रभु और हम में फर्क नहीं है, हम तो प्रभु ही है। अहम जो संसार से जो मुक्त होता वो ही ये पाता। हम क्या बोलते हैं? प्रभु और हम में, प्रभु और अपने बीच है पर्दा, है जो ये अहंकार। बोलते नहीं, अहंकार को जो छोड़ा, अहंकार को जो छोड़ा उसको मिल गया भगवान। ये अहंकार ही हमारे बीच आता है ना रुमाता जी।
हाँ जी।
अभी आप how many out of 24 hours a day, how much time you think you are God, your goddess? How much times a day you think you are goddess?
ऐसा कम ही सोचते हैं कि
सही। आप ये ऑनेस्टी चाहिए।
क्वालिटीज होनी चाहिए ना, वही गॉड वाली
नहीं
ऑल द
रुमाता जी,
टाइम।
ऐसा नहीं। कभी कभी आप भजन सुन रहे, भजन सुनने में आपको एहसास होता है मैं तो भगवान हूँ। जब भजन सुन रहे एहसास होता है, और जब भजन सुनना बंद हो गया,
when you are one with sip, at that time you feel like that.
कोई काम वाली है ना, कोई काम वाली। एक 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 औरत, रुमादा जी, एक औरत ने कश्मीर से गुच्छी मशरूम मंगाया। पता है गुच्छी मशरूम कितना है? 1 किलो गुच्छी मशरूम पता है? 1 किलो कितना है पता है रुमादा जी? 1 किलो मशरूम है 25,000 रुपए।
माय गुडनेस।
तो औरत ने बोला, मैं बेटी तुम ये गुच्छी मशरूम क्लीन करो, और मैं यहाँ पे आज डिनर के लिए मैं गुच्छी मशरूम बनाऊंगी, तुम क्लीन करके रखो, ठीक है? और जो दिन का भिंडी दाल पड़ा है ना, वो दिन का भिंडी दाल जाके मेरे नेबर को लेके आ जाओ। तो आप जब आते हैं टेबल पे क्या मिलता है आपको?
गुच्छी।
नहीं, आपके टेबल में भिंडी और दाल रखा है, और गुच्छी मशरूम अपने नेबर को देके आ गया।
ओह ग्रेट।
अभी क्या आप आराम से भिंडी और दाल खाइए। आप टेबल से उठ के ऐसा मेड की बैंड बजाएगी ना, आप ऐसा उसकी बैंड बजाएगी ना, बोलेगी जाओ अभी जाके नेबर के देखो, मैं उनके प्लेट में उनकी टेबल पे हमारा गुच्छी मशरूम पड़ा है, लेके आओ, जितना खाया खींच के लेके आओ जल्दी मेरे लिए।
अगर सेंसिबल होंगे, कॉन्शियसनेस में होंगे तो नहीं बोलेंगे ऐसा।
तो कॉन्शियसनेस में नहीं रहते ना रुमाता जी। दिस इज द पॉइंट ऑफ द एनलाइटेंड ईगो।
यस गुरुजी।
यही तो हम क्यों सीख रहे हैं क्लास पे? डेली वही बात, ABCD 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 हम 4 साल से क्यों कर रहे हैं?
ये इंसान भी बहुत अजीब है।
सुदाम, चलो सुदाम बोलो।
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है, बहुत बार मेरे को फील होता है, आई एम ऑडिबल टू यू?
यस प्लीज स्पीक लाउडली।
बहुत बार ऐसा फील होता है मेरे को, जब भी कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है तो मैं मेरे खुद को डिफरेंट कर लेता हूँ। आई एम डिफरेंट फ्रॉम दिस, आई एम डिफरेंट फ्रॉम दिस, लाइक बुरा भी होता है तो आई एम डिफरेंशिएट माई सेल्फ फ्रॉम दैट सिचुएशन। And sometimes I feel that there is we not just feeling actually, जैसे कि अभी जैसे पानी, अभी H2O लिखते हैं, H2O means water, we are understanding the water but not experiencing that, we are not experiencing, only just learning, just explaining what is water, how it transfer from this stage to another stage, but we are not feeling, we are not वो एक्चुअली वो कभी मिसिंग होता है। I mean, I'm not able to convey it properly, but my question is that feeling is different, and repeating I'm that, I'm not this, I'm not that, like that is happening, but feeling.
Yeah. So first you are in a stage of knowledge. First you are getting to know. I am not this, I am that. When I came to know this Tattvamasi, when I came to know, I came to know Tattvamasi 35 years back. 30 years, 30, that's more than 30 years back. I understood the meaning only after 20 years. Tattvamasi, I read the word Tattvamasi 30 years back. It took me after 20 years only I understood the meaning. It is not easy to realize this meaning. You must be in the right perception. You must be in the right consciousness. That's why we give so many examples, so many stories, so many analogies. It is not an easy subject. It is people think IIT is difficult. IIM is difficult. IIT, IIM put in the dustbin. IIT, IIM, anybody can get. Anybody can go and learn and get a BA, MA, BA, PhD, LLB. Anybody can get a degree. But this realization is not easy to get.
Okay.
This realization needs a lot of effort on your inner journey. You have to go on inner journey. Even I cannot give you this. You have to go and you have to be sincere. You have to be mumukshu. You have to be jigyasu. You have to be jnani. You have to be yogi. You become a Buddha. You become a sthit pragya. You become a jivan mukta. Then you become Satchidananda Atma. It is not easy.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. Have patience. Okay, don't worry. Bliko, Rutanu, Will. 3 more people. 3 more questions today. Bliko, Rutanu, and Will.
Shivam, everybody. I love you all. Today's session was, I think, it's a pinnacle of the Everest. Because I feel so much, and I have to just add one more word, that we have 2 eyes, right? One is small eye and one is big eye, a capital I. But the small eyes become so big that we can't see the capital I. And the small eye is so illusory and take you, because of the Maya, it is so decorated. You look like I am I. When Bharat realized Bharat is not Bharat, Bharat is Bliko, then the ego will become enlightened, right?
Yes. But the challenge is
that exam I have to give every situation, especially worst situation. Like you said.
Whenever you are Bliko and whenever you are Bharat, you can already make out the difference, no?
Yes, very easily. Yeah, now I will use that, because that small I is Bharat, and my capital I is Bliko, which is my enlightened ego, and which can lead me to enlightenment.
Correct. Right? Because without enlightened ego, you cannot cross over.
Crossover, yeah.
Enlightened ego, only the enlightened ego can tame the monkey mind.
Correct.
How do you see? The enlightened ego will be in consciousness. As long as the monkey mind keeps on giving thoughts. When there's the enlightened ego, you lock yourself, you block yourself.
Yeah, you can stop, and put it into dustbin all the thoughts which are not useless.
So you're leading me to one more analogy. The enlightened ego, the enlightened I becomes the intellect. That I is no more I. That I becomes the intellect. And when you become the intellect, you become a sthit pragya. When you become a sthit pragya, there is no chance of you going back into Bharat state. There is no chance. Okay, thank you. We have to close in 2-3 minutes. Rutanu will.
Shivam Guruji.
Shivam.
Guruji will not be free from doership if ego exists till enlightenment.
Doership will continue now. If you become enlightened, will you stop doing? But you will be doing without expecting any. You become a karma yogi. Your enlightened ego doesn't have any desire for result of that. So the doership of I, you become Ladi. You live as a divine instrument. You are no more I am doing, but SIP is doing through me. So the doership, you give over the doership to SIP.
But we always say, हाँ मैंने ये रख दिया, मैंने ये कर लिया.
When you say there are
How
two
to
ways of
take out that man?
wait. So there are two. When before I used to say, हाँ मैंने किया, oh मैंने किया. Now when I say मैंने किया, I say it मैंने किया with the attitude कि मैंने नहीं किया, किसी और ने मेरे द्वारा किया. When the ego is alive, you feel you want the credit. I did it. But when the ego is enlightened, you don't want the credit.
ऐसा हो गया.
ना मैंने किया, लेकिन मैंने हाँ. तो the song I write, कविता जो लिखता हूँ मैं सच में ना लिखता मैं ये सच में प्रभु कविता तू लिखता. कविता जो लिखता हूं मैं नहीं लिखता, प्रभु तू ही तो लिखता है कविता, मैं क्या करता हूं. That I disappears for the enlightened ego. I disappears for the ego, and then it becomes enlightened ego. But the ego will remain. Today's whole discussion is the ego will not disappear, because ego will disappear when your body dies. Ego will disappear when you disappear from the surface of the earth. Till Ruth Anu is there on this earth, ego will be there. But whether it's an ego or enlightened ego, that is the challenge. Will.
Thank you, Guruji.
Shivohangsip, I wonder if you could call it enlightened perception, because the word ego has all bad connotations. And I thought maybe if you could call it enlightened perception, it would be easier to use that phrase.
If you call it enlightened perception, you will always have the unenlightened ego still in the way. Don't try to run away from the truth that it is your ego that is enlightened. Don't feel shy. Don't feel embarrassed. It is the ego. We must not call it perception. It is not perception. It is I, will. I was an ignorant person as will. Now I am enlightened will. There is no harm in having that sense of Satchit Anand, that sense of consciousness, that sense of grace, that sense of bliss, that I was so foolish and now I am not foolish.
Could you also talk the difference between soul and Atman, because these are actually
no difference. No difference. Soul is English, Atman is Sanskrit. So it's like water and pani. Water is English, pani is in Hindi.
So why did you use the word SIR?
Because the same thing, no? Atma in Ravi or soul in Ravi, it's only different language.
Okay. Usually the difference is in Western thought, everyone has a different soul, where in the Eastern thought, there's just one Atman. There's not like your Atman and my Atman. There's just one Atman. Where there's the word soul, they use as a way my soul transmigrates to another body. So it's got slightly different connotations. The Western idea of an individual separate soul is a wrong view. It's quite ignorant, actually. I think there's a difference between the two. I think the West, they've confused the two, soul and Atman. I think soul is a wrong idea.
So Will, if there is energy in the bulb, it is not the bulb's energy. And there's an energy in the AC, it is not the AC's energy. The energy is flowing to the bulb and it is in the bulb. The energy is flowing to the AC. Whether you call that energy or you call it electricity, it makes no difference. Whether you call it soul or you have got an energy at this point of time, it is the spark of unique life in you. It is the Atma in me. If that energy leaves you and that energy leaves me, they become one. The source is one. Whether you call, this is very simple. This is elementary. So don't let it confuse you. If you have a doubt, please bring it up as a question tomorrow and we'll address the question tomorrow. Prem Singh ji, you want to make a comment quickly? We are closing.
Guruji, I think although it is living in the same body, all the body affairs, all the maya, all the ignorance, cannot disturb him at all. He is always free from all these effect. No effect can disturb him. So it is enlightened ego.
Correct.
Nothing can be disturb him.
Correct. The enlightened, to close with Premchandji's subject, the enlightened ego is not affected by Maya, not affected by Leela, not affected by karma, not affected by anything. The enlightened ego is mukt. The enlightened ego is completely in Satchit Anand. With that words, I fold my hands and bow down to you, and we will have a new topic tomorrow.